Good morning, dear children. Today, once again, we are back to our English class. So, we're going to start with chapter 4, that is My Life as a Pearl Diver, part 1. So, in this story, the narrator he gives us a description of his experience of diving under the seawater. So, let's start. Look at me in the picture. You see me surrounded by fish. Actually, I am right at the bottom of the sea trying to collect oyster shells for shining pearls. So he says that look at him in the picture as he is surrounded by fish. Actually, he is right at the bottom of the sea trying to collect oyster shell for shining pearls. So what is oyster shells and shining pearls? I'll show you the picture. So this is an oyster shell and shining pearls. Okay, so he said that this is my job, full of danger as well as adventure. Every time I descend to the depth of the sea, I risk my life. So the narrator says that this is my job, full of danger as well as adventure. Every time I descend means to go down, to dive down to the depth of the sea, I risk my life. It is his work to collect oyster shell from under the sea, and he risks his life. And there is first of all the fear of something going wrong with my dress, the diving suit. As you can see here in the picture, he's wearing diving suit that is in white color. And there is always the fear of being attacked by deadly sharks. There is also the chance of being caught in the grip of an octopus. Do you know what an octopus is? It is a dangerous creature that lives in the sea. It has 8 terrible arms with which it catches its victim. And the narrator says that there is always the fear of being attacked by a deadly shark, and there is also the chance of being caught in the grip on the hole of an octopus. And he asks us, do you know what an octopus is? Now, as you can see here in the picture, this is an octopus, and he says that octopus is a very dangerous creature that lives in the sea. It has 8 terrible arms with which it catches its victims. So a pearl diver's life is full of danger because every time the saints he risk his life, there is a fear of being attacked by deadly shark, and octopus also sometime may go wrong with his dress. Now let's see the next. Yet, spite of all these dangers, I like my job because it is very thrilling and exciting, very joyful and exciting for me. And for my early childhood, he said it, flunging, hanging into the sea, okay, playing around the sea was something excited for him. And he said that he is the son of an Arab pearl diver, and he lived with his family at Bahrain in the Persian Gulf. Bahrain is one of the biggest centers of the world fishing industry. Thousands of his friends, and he make their living by diving for pearls. And the sailing boats of the pearl divers are known as those. Every time they set out, the owners of these those who are also Arabs, they always used to offer prayers to God for safe sailing, okay, and for good fishing. So remember, he said that remember the fishing is for pearls, okay, to collect pearls from the sea, not for fish. Next, before the diving suit was invented, we used to dive naked. That means without diving suit. One by one, we would go down, and although we dived hour after hour, we did not stay home, or we did not stay more than a minute. Sorry, not home. We did not stay more than a minute or two at a time without suit, okay, diving suit. We always carried a strong sharp knife with us as a protection against the sharks. The fights that the divers had with these sea monsters were terrible, and I have often watched with tears in my eyes my friend coming up with an arm or a thing bitten off. So the fur divers collected pearls from the bottom of the sea before the diving suits were invented by diving naked one by one and hours after hours, carrying a strong sharp knife with them as a protection against shark and stay at the bottom for a long time. And the pearl divers carried strong sharp knife with them to protect themselves, as I told you, protect themselves from the deadly sea monster. And the fights between the divers and the sea monster were very terrible, because in these fights often divers lost some of their limbs. Now let us continue with the next paragraph. I remember my first dive into the sea. Going down the first few patterns was not so difficult, but as I dived further down, I began to feel a peculiar pain in my lungs, and my breathing became very hard. I made an about turn and dashed upward, and as I popped my head up on the surface of the water, I was greeted with laughter by my friends in the door. Then the storyteller, during his first dive, experienced a peculiar type of pain in his lungs, and his breathing had become hard as he further went down into the deep sea. And he made an about turn by breathing become very hard, and he made an about and turn, dash upward, and as he popped his head up on the surface of the water, he was greeted with laughter by his friends in the doors. Let's see the last paragraph. Then I realized that I had made the mistake of not going down on a sinker. A sinker is a large stone attached to a thick and strong rope. It goes down because of its weight, and the diver has, as it were, a joyride on it. When a diver wants to come up to the surface of the water, he just gives a tug. Okay, he just gives a tug, and the sinker is pulled up. Tug means a pull, okay, and the sinker is pulled up. So had I gone down on a sinker, I would have given just a tug, as my friends would have pulled him up. So I'll show you the picture. This is a sinker, as many of us have seen this. So the narrator tells us that the sinker is a large stone attached to a thick and strong rope, which helps the diver to go down into the deep sea and to come back safely. And he said that it goes down because of its weight, and the diver has, as it were, a joyride on it. When the diver wants to come up to the surface of the water, he just gives a tug, and the sinker is pulled up. So had he gone down on a sinker, and he would have given just a tug air, and his friends would have pulled him up. Okay, he just tell that. So we from this story we came to know that it is a work of narrator to collect oyster shell from under the sea. It is very dangerous too, and they cannot dive under the sea water without diving suit. And this is how he described that how he got experience of diving under the seawater. And let's see in the next chapter, in part 2, what will happen to him. And your homework will be underline all the typical words from your book and write down in your copy and send it to in my personal WhatsApp number. Till then, take care. Thank you.